Here with Matt Lindland, who just returned from a month overseas with U.S. teams in competition and training all over the world. You happy to be home, man?
It's definitely good to be home, Gary. It was a long trip, but I think a very productive one for sure.
So let's talk Hungary, one of the toughest tournaments in the world, the Hungarian Grand Prix. We'll start with the U.S. had 3 medalists, a gold medal from Jordan Holm. Clearly a big achievement for him.
Yeah, he beat 5 really good international opponents. And the great thing about it was for 2 weeks straight he was training with all these same guys, getting a feel and making adjustments in his wrestling, and went out there and executed. So I was very happy to see Jordan. His biggest problem is he's a very intellectual guy. He thinks and he overthinks all that stuff, and he did all that at camp, and then when it came time to compete, he just went out there and wrestled, and that his performance showed, and he came home with the prize and got the gold medal.
Now, we haven't had a champion in this event since 2003 when Byers won it. How significant is Jordan's gold, not just for him, but for the U.S. team to win such a tough tournament with one of their athletes?
Well, for sure, I think it shows that we're heading in the right direction. Not only did Jordan get a gold medal, we had 2 other guys that came home with medals as well, and I don't think it's been since '99 since we came home with 3 medals. So it's a very good performance for our team overall. But it's nice to see Jordan finally getting on top of that medal stand, because he knows he's capable of it. We do as his coaches, and it's good to see him actually be able to go out there and prove it.
Now, Spencer Mango, he's been medaled in this tournament before, but it's been many years, and got into the finals, beat some great guys along the way. Talk about Spencer.
Well, I mean, that is one of the toughest weight classes in the world. I mean, you combine 2 weight classes, you take 55 and 60, and put all those world champions, all those medalists together. You've created just one of the toughest weight classes there is, and those guys are so fast and quick. They're like little ninjas out there. Spencer wrestled phenomenal. He got into situations where he created scrambles because he was attacking, and if Spencer does that, he's going to win all those scramble situations. He's got to use his speed and create angles. He notices that when he was fighting the Japanese guy in the finals match there, he was fighting him a little straight on. The Japanese ninja changed the elevation, got to his body, and put him on his back. But little adjustments. I mean, Spencer's right there. I mean, he can win that match just as easily as he can lose that match. But the Japanese guys had a better night that night in the finals. But Spencer had a phenomenal tournament, great camp, tons of improvement.
Joe Rowe, who's starting to win medals. I mean, he's placed with a few other tournaments, took a bronze in a very competitive field, beat the guy that beat him at the Worlds.
Yeah, that was a good match. We came back. We knew what we made mistakes. We were wrestling that match really well at the World Championships, and Joe allowed himself to get out of position for a second and gave up a big throw and got put on his back. Made those adjustments, but if you watch Joe Rowe in training camp, you're just like, this guy's not going to be able to compete, because he's experimenting. It's not that he's getting his butt kicked, which he is. But he's trying things. He's actually trying to get better and putting himself in positions to learn and develop. And Joe's come a long way. I mean, he got a gold medal in Croatia tournament, which was no joke. That tournament was very tough. But we specifically only took our number 1s to Hungary because of the quality and the toughness of that tournament. And Joe came back with a medal. He lost the semifinal match 4-4 on a criteria. It was a very close criteria. He thought he was winning on criteria. I threw the cube. The cube came back. It was one of these back and forth things, but it was very close. Came back, teched the guy for the bronze medal. That guy just won the silver a couple weeks ahead of time in the Takti Cup. So, I mean, he's beating great guys. Joe's improving. Joe's having fun. He loves what he's doing. Especially for somebody that's just been wrestling Greco now in his 2nd year. On our senior program. He's been on 2 world teams. He's bringing home medals internationally. I'm expecting big things out of Joe Rowe here in the future.
So you went to about 5 countries. You saw Americans wrestle on the senior level. You saw some junior Americans. You also had the opportunity to to see what the rest of the world's bringing to Greco. What's your observation from your tour and how the U.S. is doing and what trends are going on in Greco?
Well, I can tell you my biggest observations from going to 3 different camps. We wrestled some camps. We had a tournament in Austria with some juniors, senior level stuff. I mean, what we're seeing is younger and younger athletes. We're seeing 17 to 20-year-old athletes that are going to be the next level. We have our young, developmental. We call them developmental guys. They're 17 to 20 years old. They're junior athletes, but some of these guys internationally, junior athletes, junior age, are the best senior athletes. And so I think the new trend that I'm going to try to be pushing is, try to direct some of these younger athletes to focus just purely on the Greco-Roman style. By the time they become a first-year junior, second-year junior athlete, I think they need to start looking at picking one style and focusing on that style, and maybe forego the folk style route. There's ways to get college degrees. We have one program in Northern Michigan. We're looking at developing some other programs. But even just postponing that college education, some guys are calling it a gray shirt, or just simply saying, if you want to wrestle, I'm going to get my college degree another way, and I'm going to focus on the international style of wrestling. If you want to be an elite Greco-Roman guy, I mean, this is definitely a trend I'm seeing, and we saw it last year at the World Championships when 86 kilo freestyle guy was 18, won a world title at the senior level. The year before, he won a junior title. We have the guys that can do that. I really feel that it may take almost as long to take one of these NCAA blue chip guys and develop them, and then I only get 1 or 2 quads out of them, versus taking a 17, 18-year-old athlete and just purely focusing on the Greco-Roman style and not wasting their time with a folk style wrestling that really ends at college. And so then maybe we get three quads out of an athlete and some more medals. So I think the trend is younger athletes focusing on the international style.
How'd the new rules look? The better wrestling, more exciting?
We actually used the 2014 rules, and the new test rules are going to take place here in 2 weeks. At the end of this month, they're going to test them at the under 23 European Championships,
Right.
And I think we're going to make a final decision. So we still competed under the old rules. The only tournament that used the new rules was the Schultz Cup,
Right.
and then this Youth 23 European Championships.
So we did well with the old rules, but our athletes have shown progress there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we worked on some defense. The guys were stopping the guys that were getting medals were being able to defend on the bottom, and they were actually able to turn on top. That match that Jordan won, I mean, it was huge. He got on top with I think it was like 20 seconds left, and the guy was trying to find the way out of bounds, and Jordan timed his movement and hit a nice gut wrench and got the victory.
Well, congratulations on a successful
Thanks a
Hungary,
lot,
and sounds like a successful trip.
Yeah, I think we're definitely taking the Greco-Roman program in the right direction. We still got some work to do, but we're having fun doing it.
Outstanding. Thanks, Coach.